Welcome to Hairston Huddle podcast, where family, faith, football, and life collide. We are here to inspire growth, tackle life's challenges, and help build stronger connections within our families and communities. Join us twice a month as we dive into real conversation, explore current events, and share life lessons that can change your game on and off the field. This is your huddle, your space to grow. Let's get into it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Hairston Huddle, second episode. Super excited to kick this year off. Third week of January, ready to really get rocking. MLK right around the corner. On Monday, we got football. Man, Jay, what an exciting time to be alive, man. How you doing today?
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. Happy to be back for the second episode. Appreciate all you viewers that came in, everybody that commented and left us something. We appreciate you guys, man. Like you said, it's a great start to the new year for me. I'm staying consistent with my goals. Obviously, it's playoff season. My team's not a part of it. That's cool. I still enjoy football. But another big thing is MLK Day, and I think that's important to both of us. So, we're just excited for the time, man, and a great time to be alive and be a part of, some monumental history going on in this country.
Absolutely. And I think equality is being shined upon everywhere. People wanting to get out there and represent. We see a lot of cultures representing their people, their countries. And, MLK for me is a reminder, of what things used to be. And it's important. We don't forget that. We teach our children. I'm biracial, and so I've had a lot of diversity in my life, and it's an important factor, to remember what Martin Luther King did for all of us. Not just African Americans, but everyone. To let everyone know we shouldn't judge each other by how we look, but by the character that we follow and who we are as a person. And so, what does MLK Day mean for you and your family, Jay?
I mean, it's just one of those times. It gives the opportunity to, one, have appreciation for what happened before us. There was a lot of things that transpired during, the early part of this country's inception, and early on to the 50s, 60s, and even 70s, and even still today, we still have to deal with a lot of things that harm this country. And for me and my family, we always, talk about, my wife specifically, she talks about being a good person all the time. And I think that's something that MLK really stood for. And one of the traditions I try to keep alive is we didn't go last year, but we've gone probably 4 or 5 consecutive years with my sons, taking them to the museum to see the museum exhibit here in New Britain. But what's funny is that they didn't actually have the museum. That's why we didn't go, because they didn't have the exhibit up. So, that was a bit of a shock for us. But this year, we're going to make sure we figure out a way to get to something that, honors his memory.
Yeah. It's awesome that you mentioned that, because Leslie was just talking about it the other day. She was like, we need to go down there and check that out. So I think we're going to do the same. We're going to go down there and really indulge in all of that great information and really and take the time to learn and to teach the kids about those times. I think that's so awesome that museum does that. And so, I'm super grateful. It's right around the corner. So, really great idea, man. Really great idea.
My thing is, my question for you is that what is something that you think still today that MLK wouldn't be very happy about? Like something that you think that wasn't what he intended. Is there anything out there that you could say, being a biracial child, having, kids with multiple ethnic backgrounds, what does that look like to you? Like, what does somebody say, nah, Martin Luther King didn't intend that? What is something you could think of?
I think it's important to remember that it wasn't a control element, right? It wasn't for us to separate. It was for us to unite. And I still believe we have a ways to go for that.
Absolutely.
I think people are afraid to kind of stand out just because, people have no problem being violent, and doing some really unheard of things. But I think overall, MLK would be proud of us. And I think he would be proud to see, especially in the NFL and different sporting events, you see equality, be a change maker. You see a lot of that being displayed, equality. So I think that the message is clear, that we are all beings. We all are here. We put our pants on all the same, one leg at a time. And I think that he would be more proud than disappointed. But we still got work to do, like you said, man.
Yeah, I got a special guest coming in today, real quick. He want to say hi because he's been peeking. One of my sons, Titan. Say hi.
Yeah, Titan.
Right
What's
back
up,
over
man? You getting
there.
big, but big.
So yeah, no, and I think it's important that you tell people your message and how you look at it, because you do offer a unique perspective as a biracial child, and the vision that Martin came up with, I think it was one that was definitely inclusive and one that we as a people, should embrace. And I feel like some people have embraced it, and I think that we're the Hairston Huddle. We obviously talk about sports, but that's not the totality of who we are. Although the sports world is a microcosm of the world, it's one of the biggest melting pots.
So you say, I've had some experiences, and it is true. I've grown up in a home who's had a lot of differences. My father being an African American man, and his family very strong, Black culture, and some of it was a lot, to be honest with you. I swear I heard Roots being played on repeat up in the lounge area of my grandmother's house. And it just sometimes it was interesting. But I appreciate it because I look back at those times, and some of my aunts, they still feel a certain type of way about the way the world is. But then flip side, on my mom's side, from Maine, white Christian, very different. But I think that I never really felt a divide, at home. I thought was really cool. And even in the town of New London, I didn't feel that at all. It wasn't until I got into more of the center of the state, more New Haven and New Britain, and I started to see where there was still some uncertainty there, where people didn't really feel totally comfortable. And so they kind of stuck to their own. But I think, again, with sports, as you mentioned, it's a great way to bring people together, to diversify, to learn about, different types of people. And like I said, I just love seeing sports constantly reminding people to be, to be together, and to treat people right. And I think that ultimately, if we just treat people the way that we want to be treated, and respect people and listen to people and understand where they are and not be so quick to judge, we will be in a much better place overall as individuals.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's just that sometimes those things are easier said than done,
Mhm.
because somebody's life experiences, good or bad, shape their, sometimes their responses to what happens in the world. And Martin Luther King, he did a great job of, quote unquote, what we would call turning the cheek in a lot of instances. And, he was a nonviolent protester and all that kind of stuff. So, and I believe that that does has a place in this world. It's just that on certain spots, sometimes you got to stand up, and unfortunately, you got to stand up in a strong way. Speaking of Martin Luther King and him setting goals, let's get into some of the goals we set for the new year. How are your goals coming along? I know we're only 3 weeks in. Have you been consistent? Have you found it hard to try to, maintain those goals? What's going on with that?
Yeah, no, great question. So business wise, I feel a bit exhausted today, really pushing hard, man. Well, Leslie said to me, she's like, man, I'm gonna have to dial you back a little bit, man, because when you go hard on goals, you go all in, and you beat yourself up, and I just do what I do, man. And so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I like that. She reminds me about that. But I'm doing well on the business side. Things are growing.
So wait though. You said she said she got to dial you back. Is she a good measuring stick for you on your day to day life, like far as when it comes to things that you say you're going to do, or is it more like she see you kind of like sluggish and she's saying, hey, we need to scale it back. Like
It's more,
where's she at with that?
yeah, it's more about a balance.
Yeah.
I've always been one to go 100,000 miles an hour and go all in, and find myself dragging, and not being able to be there when I need to be there for certain things. So I think for Leslie, it definitely it definitely no, for me, my wife helps me balance that out, right? So she's like,
Yeah.
hey, you need to just look at your calendar and make sure you're not biting off more than you can chew.
Right.
I find myself doing that, especially right now when I have so many things I want to accomplish. So she just, she's my yin to my yang, man, and just dialing me back in regards to just reminding me that I don't have to go 1,000% all at once. Like I can do a little bit, consistently, and achieve the same thing without beating myself up too much, or just beating the family up, because obviously they're right there with me. So
Right.
it's a matter
Right.
of balance.
Yeah. No, that's dope, man. To have a helpmate to check on you like that. And I noticed you said last night you guys had a little movie night, and I thought that was dope too. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
my wife, she gonna fall asleep on me every time. I don't think she's ever stayed awake for a full movie yet, ever. Like
Really?
even when she picks them out, she falls asleep on them.
Okay. Well, I'm actually notorious for that, especially if it's like a Harry Potter joint, or one of
Oh,
those types of flicks. But I've been trying to be better, so I'm actually that guy. I'd be passing out, but but I try to stay awake.
yeah.
That's
If I'm tired, I'm calling it. I'm calling it. Just fall asleep. But usually, my issue is that I'll watch a movie and then I'll just be so into it, whether it's good or bad. I gotta see it through, man. I gotta see it through, my boy. I gotta see it through.
Yeah.
Terrible movies. So
We'll have like four things going on at once. Like we just finished Bad Boys, which we started like a month ago, and then so it'd be like that sometimes.
oh my God, that's crazy.
But you got to have that time, so it's good stuff, man. But
Yeah.
how about football, man? I mean, the NFL right now, holy smokes, there's a lot going on. Who you got going?
Man, it's so much going on in the football world. It's so much going on in the sports world, specifically like, it's 2025, and I think we got for the first time we've had a college football playoffs, and we've seen a lot of money be made for these young guys, and some of those guys are making more money than the guys in the NFL who are playing as a professional. With the playoffs here, again, my team's not a part of it, so I'm not too happy about it, but I always watch the game. But now as I got older, I see more of the business side, and it's amazing to see how much money these guys can make. But such finely two athletes, they're selling everything. They're selling Thursday night games, Wednesday night games, Tuesday night games, and then you got college football. We've had football every weekend since after Thanksgiving. That's
Almost
crazy.
every day there's a game on. It's crazy.
But it just goes to show you it's a big market for it. And, obviously you and I have a football background, a game that's done a lot for me, taught me a lot. I like sport, in all facets for young people. But I know, man, football season is like sad when I know it's coming to an end.
I know it's right there too.
It's got to pivot. It's basketball season for my young boys right now. And they're doing okay. My youngest scored his first basket, by the way.
Okay.
And I was happy.
Nice.
It's crazy because you, as a dad, you just kind of like, you always want the best for your kid, and it's cool to have just to see a little you run around there and then see him put the work in and then him get that first basket. It was dope. So
that's awesome. Well, congratulations to him, and yeah, it's a special time, to watch our boys just do their thing. It's basketball for Caleb too. I coach his 5th grade team, and we're on our way. Right, we're on our way. We're making adjustments. Started watching film on Mondays for about.
Wow.
So yeah,
film already.
It works, man. It works.
Oh my God.
So I have them doing film. It's funny because at first I just sent the link out and asked the parents to watch it with the kids, and it wasn't happening because I knew when they got back to practice, I would ask them this and this and this, and they wouldn't know what was going on. I said, you know what? I said, there's no point in going right down to the court and doing anything unless we actually reflect. I mean, preseason, we do our thing and we have our fundamental stuff. I said, but now we're game planning, right? So it's a little different. We only get 2 days a week. So on Mondays, we'll do 30, 35 minutes of film. Elijah shoots the film for us in the games, which is awesome. And we go right up to the library, at the school, film. And it's not about critiquing, right? I just want them to, one, know our philosophy on offense, know what we're trying to do on defense, and then watch what we did in the game. And I don't want anybody talking about it. And then I'll go through kind of a few key points that I want to adjust right before we go down to the court. We do it. It's kind of like a walkthrough. And then tomorrow on Wednesday, it will be a full-blown practice where we'll go through our offense, our defense, and I probably try to get up about 75 shots per kid in various ways, just to get them ready for the game on Saturday. So it works, man, and they're
definitely
receptive to it. So it's awesome.
Definitely, man. And that's another thing too. Like when you create this kind of precedent for a young person, it allows them to have a framework for success in life, right? You're showing them through sport how to break down something and then improve at it at the same time. And it's consistent. And I think that's a great thing because, man, one of the biggest things in life is obstacles and teaching people how to deal with those obstacles. When you have obstacles, it's not just about, hey, can I figure it out? It's how can I grow from it and figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So like maybe that doesn't happen again. And I think that's why I like sport, because you're not always going to be your best. You're not always going to be 100% energy. You're never going to make all the plays, and then when adversity strikes and those obstacles come in play, how do you handle those things? And I think the sport world is a great opportunity for a young person to figure those things out.
Absolutely. Well, jump right into uncertainty immediately, right? Adversity,
Right.
challenge, competition, and self-reflection and self-assessing. Like that is so important. You know how it is. You played at the highest level, and each step of the way you had film session, you had things you needed to break down. And so, share a little bit more about that. I want to hear, like, what were some of your takeaways and things that you were able to improve on because of that self-reflection?
One of the most important things you were able, first of all, when you're at the highest level, you're being paid to perfect something, right? Whatever it is. And you don't really get an opportunity to get a bunch of mistakes per se, because that's what the NFL stands for, not for long. But what it does, it challenges you in a different way because, everybody's there, everybody's is high strung, but at the same time, it's a narrowed focus. And I think that's one of the things that I gather from even the collegiate level. Those guys, teammaats, when it was time inside those lines, or we were in meeting rooms, we used to have 5:30 a.m. Film study on a Thursday or like a Wednesday with practice and lift and all that kind of stuff.
And school.
Yeah. And school. And people don't realize that it's a lot that goes into it, but the amount of focus is required. I think that people underestimate because it's such a mental game. And as an offensive player myself, there's a lot of things broken down in a matter of minutes and milliseconds that you have to decipher through. So you have the play coming in, then you have the adjustment by the defense, and then you got to adjust on the run. But that amount of focus it takes and those short amount of times is really physically draining. That's why people say you can get a rep if you're going through a walkthrough, right? Because your focus needs to be so high that it ain't got to exactly exert your lungs, but it'll exert your mind, and before you know it, you're feeling tired. So it's just a lot, man, and I'm sure in different facets of life, people run into these things where you have to have that narrow focus. Like let's take day trading. If you're a day trader,
oh yeah,
those things happen so fast, you got to be locked into the charts.
right.
It's a narrowed focus. So if nothing else you guys take away from this podcast today, I would tell you that one of the most important things in life is having a narrow focus. Now, what that is may be different, but to be your best in that particular field, a narrow focus is definitely required. So,
yeah, well, it's funny you bring that up because tonight I gave the coach a call after practice and let him know how practice went. And he said, aim small, miss small, right? Have that narrow focus. And we can do that in life, right? As we talk about life's balances and, goal setting, journaling, writing. Like I do video journaling every single day. I do a video, and it's really for me to remind myself how the day went. And sometimes I'll go back in the middle of the day and listen to that video and see if I applied the things that I talked about, right? To kind of that self-reflection. And for those who aren't doing videos and things like that, journaling and keeping track, because what you track grows. What you measure, you can change, you can adjust. If you don't know what's going on, then there's no way that you can make a change or even know how well you're doing, right? So I think if you get really narrow focus, like you said, that's a really great way to say it, and say, I'm going to target this thing, I'm going to do this, and then just keep track of how you're doing along the way. It's nobody's opinion of your thing, they're not going to understand it anyways. Really, they're going to get excited about it, if you share it with them, but they're not going to understand fully the meaning behind it. And so, take that with a grain of salt, but keep track of your progress throughout your days. And also just give yourself grace, man. Talked about that this morning. We're not going to be perfect. And even
Right.
a competitive person is going to tell you, hey, listen, being obsessed about being perfect or, not making mistakes is not sustainable, right? So you got to
No.
have windows of time where you can get that in, but find that balance and grace, and that's where I put the Lord first to remind me that I'm just a spiritual being going through a human experience.
Speaking of, you said you're a spiritual being. So
Yep.
part of my New Year's resolution was to go to church, and
I love
I've
that.
been I've been to church. I'm actually gonna think about doing getting a part of the 6 a.m. prayer group, but that's gonna take a little more. So I want to take baby steps, but I'm on track right now. And just hearing the word is positive, and it clues me in on other parts of my day to remind me as I'm walking through my day, like, okay, where's the message? What was the message? How I apply that to my daily routine, and throughout the week I try to carry that message with me. Here we are, what is it? It's Tuesday night. It's only 2 days in. I want to see if I can carry the message
Yeah.
Throughout the rest of the week. But yeah, so there was 2 weeks in a row, 3 weeks in a row now with the church.
Good stuff, man. And I think that's so important. We have to have that balance, and we also have to have that peace. Um, that's probably one of the That's probably one of my favorite things about our family is that
Mhm.
we do put Christ in the middle of everything, and we pray together. We go to church together. We hold each other accountable to that. Our children, man, I tell you what, they hold us accountable when it comes to that, and that is really special. And I'm super grateful for that. But it's a reflection of what we instilled in them young. But
Yeah.
not on a faith walk, I would encourage you to, maybe date a few churches, check it out.
Yeah.
See how it fits. You may find that, some are clearer to you and others aren't, but that's okay. You have to find your tribe. You have to find your group of people, that
Right.
can instill into you what you're looking for. And, you also following their journey as well as an example. But no, it's great to hear, Jay. I'm super excited, man, and I got a little gift coming your way too. So because of that, so yeah, I'm excited to get your thoughts once you get that. Yeah, man, congrats.
Thanks, man. So also too, you know, we're 3 weeks in to the month of January, but next week and our next episode will be for Black History Month. And I love Black History Month. It gives an opportunity for me to talk to my sons about the culture, some of the things that they may not see, some of the inventions. It sparks their interest, and I think it's a cool time. So I could tell them certain things that they wouldn't even know were made by African Americans. So I really do like Black History Month. Also, too, Valentine's Day is in there as well for the ladies.
Yep, we gonna slip
But
that right in.
so we'll be asking questions about when you guys, for our viewers,
Yeah.
if you email us, Aaron, hit us. We're gonna drop the link at the bottom of the next episode so you guys can know where to hit us up at. But ladies and gents, what are you doing for your significant other and your marriage relationship to keep special that holiday? But yeah, Black History Month is coming, and the Super Bowl. So when we tap in with you guys, I'm pretty sure the Super Bowl have already been played already.
The
Or
third,
no,
I don't
the
know
first
what
week.
the date flows. Yeah,
Yeah,
close
so
to.
we'll have a Super Bowl winner by then, or no?
You know what? Actually, if we drop it on Friday the 30th, no, you know what? We probably drop it on the 7th, that first full week of February. So yeah, the game would
Okay,
be played on Monday.
so we'll have your picks in. Get your
Yeah, man, we
picks
want to
in.
get those picks. Yeah, yeah. Who you got? Ohio or Notre Dame?
Oh,
I already
so
know what you're gonna
so
say. Of
no, so for the national championship, I got Ohio State for sure,
course, of
and
course.
for the Super Bowl, I don't want to say the Chiefs, but until I got to see them this weekend coming, but um, I think the Chiefs might be the team to beat because the Detroit Lions, they're the best team in the NFC. I believe they're the most complete team, but they're a little banged up. And they had to sit a week, and the Rams are looking real good, so it's a little iffy there. But all that's coming to you in the month of February, man, and probably a lot of snow with it, to be honest.
I know we got a snowstorm coming this week, but you know what? We've been lucky. We've been lucky. The weather hasn't been too crazy. It was funny. I was in school today, and one of the teachers was like, "I just need a snow day. I just need the whole state to shut down." And I'm looking at her like, "You must not be doing the shoveling."
Exactly. And careful what you wish for, because that snow,
For
when
real.
it's
Oh
coming,
my
man.
gosh. And right here in New Britain, man, we get smacked. Like
Yeah.
my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the forecast, man, from Saturday on. It's looking real snowy until Monday.
Yeah. We might get that snow day, get those shovels out, but more important, get them sleds out. Let's go have some fun.
Yeah.
Well, Jay, man, this has been a great start to our Hairston Huddle. I'm honored, to be out here, man, doing what we do and constantly just living life work, man. So you want to take us out, brother?
Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate you guys tapping in with us. Do not hesitate to hit us on the email. Email is hairstonhuddle@gmail.com. Any questions or anything you guys want us to cover, man, we'd appreciate your feedback. We're here for you guys as well as us. This is therapy for us too, and tap in with us, man. Great episode, Aaron. Did a great job, brother. And I appreciate you guys.
Right on, guys. Have a great night. Take care.